guys, Jon here from the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me in my swing studio at Drayton Park Golf Club, and today we're going to be talking about the perfect fade. So, for me as a right-handed golfer, a ball flight that's going to be starting to the left of my target, moving to the right, and actually finishing somewhere pretty close to target. And that's a key part, where the ball starts. I get a lot of golfers who talk about hitting fades, but they're actually starting it straight or maybe right of target and then moving right, and they're hitting more of a push fade or a push slice. We need that ball to be starting left of our target and drifting right onto it. There are a few good golfers out there who predominantly play with more of a right to left draw type of ball flight, that when they try and fade it, they do end up hitting more of a push fade. The difference between them and you is normally the amount of practice they're putting into it. However, if we can actually get someone that can hit it and shape it both ways, they've got a lot more control out on the golf course to attack those pins stuck on the right or on the left. Just being able to understand this will really help think about where the club face needs to be and where your swing path needs to be for all sorts of shots in golf. So I've got a couple of lines down here to help me. What we're seeing is the projected image of the driving range from my GC2 launch monitor, and we've got a white line on the screen there. That's going to be my target line, and I've just left a green alignment stick, tour stick on the ground pointing down that line. The other one, I've put an orange one there, is where I want the ball to start, so our start line, which is to the left, and then I want the ball drifting to the right. So what I really need at impact is the club face to be pointing nearer the orange line, so slightly closed compared to the target. And that's a strange thing for a lot of golfers who are always thinking about, well, the club face is open. The club face is open compared to the swing path. It actually needs to be closed compared to the target. So I need my club face to be pointing a little to the left, but I need my swing path going more to the left. So in a minute I'm going to be hitting a shot and really aiming the club nearer the orange line, but swinging anywhere left of it. The more I swing left, the more accentuated this shot shape's going to be. But I find a lot of golfers, when they're trying to hit draws and fades, just perhaps don't practice exaggerating it enough. I want you to think of Bubba Watson when he's shaping the ball. You know, how much he really is aiming his body left or right depending on which shape he's trying to hit. Now, where we start the ball is really down to where the club face points at impact, as we just mentioned. And it's around 80% of the start line is down to where the club face points at impact. Where we strike the ball on the club face does have an effect, especially when we go into the longer clubs, the woods. If I was hitting a driver and I hit it more out the heel, we're going to expect a ball flight that's starting more to the left. If I'm hitting it out the toe with a driver, it's going to be starting more to the right. What I want you to imagine, and hopefully I am going to do it, is that we're getting a centered contact. So where the ball starts is basically down to where the club face is pointing at impact. So I'm going to go ahead first of all and actually point the club as set up where I want it to start on my start line, slightly closed compared to the target line. But what I'm going to do is get my body much further to the left, much more open, and that's going to include feet, knees, hips and shoulders. I get some golfers I see who will move just their feet but not think about their upper body as well. We really want to try and get everything much more, and I'm going to be going a good 30 degrees open on this first shot to really try and show you a ball flight that's going to be curving from left to right. So, a couple other things I want to quickly talk about. I do get golfers trying to weaken their grip when they're trying to hit a fade or a slice, but again, if you think what effect that has by weakening my grip, we're talking about the club face more likely to return open at impact. That's going to give me a ball flight starting to the right. Remember, I want it starting more to the left. So what I'm telling you to do is actually keep your grip as neutral, okay, as you would do for a normal shot. What we're changing is the other parts in setup. We're aiming the club a little to the left, our body a long way to the left, and we're going to be creating a swing path that is following my body alignment, much more out to in. The last little thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to change my ball position slightly. So what you can see on the mat here is a white arced line. Now it's not quite as arced as my swing path would be, but it gives us a pretty good example of it. So if I go ahead and put the ball in the middle of the arc, and we swung on that white line there, the club would be swinging in to straight to in. If we move the ball a little bit further forwards in our stance, the club is actually more likely to be travelling to the left for me as a right-handed golfer, and that's going to help me with this shot shape we want to do. So instead of playing the ball in my normal position for a 7-iron, roughly centre of my stance under my sternum, I'm just going to move that ball about one ball width further forwards in my stance. I think it's about time for me to go ahead and see if I can do it. So I'm going to aim the club a little to the left, nearer the orange stick, my body a long way to the left, including my shoulders, and I've got that ball position a little bit further forwards. I can be quite aggressive, swinging to the left. On cue. I find this shot shape a little easier to hit than the draw, so it's a bit easier for me. So it took off a bit of yardage with that shot shape. It finished at 163, but it started 3.5 degrees to the left, and the ball was curving to the right because the axis of the ball was tilted to the right. So I know that my club face was aiming a little to the left compared to my target, but I know my swing path was going more to the left, more out to in. I'm just going to quickly hit one more of those. Body to left, shoulders to the left, ball's a little bit further forwards. A little low out the club, so a slightly lower ball flight, but finishing in pretty much the same place. Very similar ball flight you'll see on there, so a ball flight that is starting left, moving to the right. I hope that's helped explain a few things. I'd love to get your guys' feedback if you can post some comments below. If you did enjoy the video and the content, please give us a thumbs up, a like there. There are lots of different social media outlets that we're on. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, website. Please go on all those, have a little look, make yourself known on there, send us some comments, and if you can subscribe on YouTube, it is for free. I am going to do a follow-up part on the perfect draw. Thanks, guys.